And then I realized that this beautiful evolution of our lives, of change that is inevitable, can actually be easier, faster, more fulfilling, and fun. And I really latched onto that because I found that when we are in joy, we are not only quickly manifesting and enjoying the experience. So then I became hooked on preparing my method of creating this space for people, especially adults, because adults, ooh, do we love a complicated problem. And we do have these, everything that I feel that many things that are given to us are very logical, serious. And so while we get a lot of powerful work done, the transformation through joy method gives adults a chance to play, let loose, enjoy the process and the manifestations of having their next best.
Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Daily Soul Bytes Show. I am your host, Bolaabimbola, frequency alchemist, author, life coach, and energy practitioner. Daily Soul Bytes Show is where we have guest authors, coaches, and entrepreneurs in the fields of spirituality, psychology, and leadership, sharing their insights for the expansion of collective consciousness. And today I have a very special guest all the way from Detroit, Michigan, Teemaree. Welcome to the show, Teemaree.
Thank you so much. Hello, and thank you for having me today.
It's great to have you, Teemaree. I'm looking forward to our conversation. I'm going to read a bit about your bio before we start.
Okay.
Teemaree is a wellness business owner, the best life coach, a self-help author, and the creator of the Transformation Through Joy method. Over the last 25 years of coaching, Teemaree has helped people have breakthroughs in life, health, business, and spirituality. She specializes in helping people around the world feel better, have better, and be better with her coaching programs, products, and books. Love that. So, Teemaree, let's kick this off straight away. Thank you for joining me again. And tell us how you came to this place where you really are focusing on that transformation through joy. Because we can transform through different things. You know, shadow can bring transformation, and so can light. And I love that you are talking about transformation through joy. So tell us how you came to this place that you're now coaching for the last 25 years. Just a summary, a brief summary.
My method of transformation through joy was birthed from my own walk initially of, I was a big proponent of, I will walk through the fire. I will walk through the fire. I will go through hard things. And there is a lot of power and strength in that. And then I realized that this beautiful evolution of our lives, of change that is inevitable, can actually be easier, faster, more fulfilling, and fun. And I really latched onto that because I found that when we are in joy, we are not only quickly manifesting and enjoying the experience. So then I became hooked on preparing my method of creating this space for people, especially adults, because adults, ooh, do we love a complicated problem. And we do have these, everything that I feel that many things that are given to us are very logical, serious. And so while we get a lot of powerful work done, the transformation through joy method gives adults a chance to play, let loose, enjoy the process and the manifestations of having their next best.
I love that. Thank you, Teemaree. Now, I always say that when we come to really step into audacity and step into life with audacity, it's because we have had this dance with shadow. I'd love to know more about what that was like for you. What gave you this really strong ammunition to step into transformation through joy and to help others. Because it's one thing for us to transform, another thing for us to want to help others transform. What has that journey been like for you? Because this may be something that those who, it may give a lot of those who are listening or watching inspiration, encouragement, some degree of resonance, connection with what we are saying today.
In my personal life as a kid, my mother left me and my brothers after divorcing my father for 1 year. So multiple things were traumatic about that experience. We went from being a unit to then they get divorced and she refuses to let us see or contact our dad. And then out of nowhere, we come packing up the apartment, come to our old apartment with dad in it. Mom's there too. And we have a great day and a meal. And the next morning, she takes her bags and leaves us. No explanation, no nothing. This was a hugely traumatic event for me for multiple reasons. The obvious, divorce and change in the family life and hurt, but then there's this abandonment. And on top of that, I was 9 years old, and that catapulted me into now I'm the woman of the house. I'm the babysitter and the housekeeper and the leader for my brothers and the help to my dad. This was a traumatic event on many levels. At the time, I was forging through, I believe, with God's help, definitely God's help, and this brute force walk through the fire, I will do it, I will succeed mentality. Now, many years later, I see I was being forged into my calling. I was being prepared and launched into what I was naturally doing from a very young age. Coaching, helping, leading, transforming obstacles and challenges into not just a get by, which believe me, if you're worried about getting by is an answered prayer. It's a dream come true. But then there's we can have better than this. We can supersede this. And whatever that is, it could be poverty, abandonment, low self-esteem, a desire in a career. So my life's work, literally, professionally, and personally, has been doing that over and over for myself and for people around me, beginning in family members and friends, and then on to clients. To anyone who may be watching or listening, if someone has left you and you have no closure and you don't know why, if you are wondering how you are going to do this thing, whether it's getting by or getting the degree or changing your work or stepping into your dream, if you are even wanting to make a change in your life, your health, you just want to be a different person than you are right now. Maybe you feel you have to be, or maybe you want to be, you have this glimmer, this hope that what's in front of you can change. Mm-hmm. I deeply know what that is like. And it's my life's work because I've personally and then professionally done that over and over and over again. And so it's my joy now to share with folks on a personal, emotional level, meaning I understand what aspects of that are like. I know what it feels like. I know the struggle of like, okay, you have this dream, even after you say yes to get help and to want to make a change. Oh, that's just the beginning, right? We're taking those steps and really doing this. So I understand that. And then professionally, having tools, techniques, strategies, because I've employed them and seen them work with my clients. So, I can say this to anyone who's watching and listening. I am both a testament and an encourager of the truth that things can change. Mm-hmm. You can have what you dream. And it's my joy to help people have that joyously and as, I don't want to say quickly, because there's no quick button, but quicker than bumping around alone.
I do appreciate you sharing that. And, this is something that, we all learn from each other. And one of the things that I really cherish is when I have guests come on the show and they share some of the, we've all had, I've had my childhood traumas. And, these are not things that are easy to actually transcend. And sometimes you can go through a whole lifetime without transcending some of these things. So, I thank you for sharing that. Really, being a testament as well as an encourager. That is really powerful. I'd love you to share with us, Teemaree, some of the things that you now do in terms of your transformation through joy method. And I'd love to hear about your books as well, in a bit. But what are the kinds of things that people can expect when they come to work with you?
Oh, goodness. Well, we have a great time and we get down to some good business. So, some of the things that folks can expect from me are number one is a number of options to enjoy the transformation, meaning there is a dedicated private community that is not a social media group, nothing against that. That's a great avenue, but a private community. So there's access 24/7 wherever you are in the world. That's big because oftentimes we need help, we need advice, we need feedback, we need a lifeline. And sometimes it's like, well, it's late at night or it's too early or I live in a different time zone. And folks can expect that. They can expect that when they're working with me, that's available. And that relieves a lot of pressure and brings a lot of joy and a feeling of confidence. Like, yes, okay, I do have access no matter what. And then when we get into the actual coaching, there are multiple ways that I like to help employ my transformation through joy method. So yes, we have coaching sessions where we're doing, we're talking it out. And my clients get to express what is happening for them, ask questions and all of that good stuff. And then there's other ways that I take them through the process, which you'll see a little bit in when we get to my books, but my books is one of them, or different types of practices that we use to allow us to actually infuse. My clients get to infuse these teachings with mind, body, soul. So, there are all kinds of modalities that I have used in the past that help this, depending on what coaching they're after. But it's a fantastic, fun experience of, okay, we talk, we connect no matter what, 24/7. And then I have things that my clients can listen to or watch, experientials we do, events. So things that allow my clients to walk it out, express it, get reminded in ways that are fun. It's not just like, a logical experience. It's a full body experience. And so that's what you can expect. You can expect coaching programs, coaching sessions, a community, a place to ask, talk, receive, and a place to do, but in fun ways. Visualizations, practices, events. It's a good time. And I'm really proud of it because it's been a lot of work to bring this to fruition because it is different than what we get presented with as adults. We are used to generally expecting a sit down, let's talk kind of more serious experience. So getting to have this really lets a lot of steam off and it's a fun way to change.
I love that. Thank you, Teemaree. So if you give us an example of something that is really unique in your book, say for instance, because I know that, we've got all these thoughts going through our heads every day, over 60,000 thoughts. And a lot of those thoughts, over 80% of those thoughts are negative. And over 80% of those thoughts are repetitive, they keep going on and on. And so getting to understand these thoughts and then taking us into that place where we're understanding our own feelings, our sensations, and our intuition. And that's Carl Jung will say, those are the kind of four aspects of our perception, our thoughts, feelings, sensations, and intuition. How does your program connect people with that, with those perceptions of self? And I love what you said about the structure, about the fact that they really come to understand, themselves and opening up to receiving support, because you must be holding a safe, trusting space. Because whether you are in a group, a social media group, or or a real group that is, that you've set people up, you've grown people, you've brought people together, and they can connect with each other. There has to be trust. There has to be somebody holding that space to encourage the opening up, because there is no opening up if we do not feel safe and secure. So, I think that's really powerful, having that structure. Then how do you really support your clients to go from that place of that rational mind, rational analytical mind, and transform the kind of, shadow and the trauma and the fear? Because, we could be living in fear in the lower perspectives of different aspects of life, or we could be living in love in the higher perspective. So, which is what my book is about. Daily Soul Bytes. Daily Soul Bytes, my book, is really about the higher perspectives of love and the lower perspectives of fear. Because everything we do, whether it's intimacy, whether it's driving, there are ways we can approach these things from a higher perspective, from a loving, trusting, forgiving, non-judgmental place. Or we can approach things from a lower perspective of fear, threat, competition, survival, and we can come to understand those different perspectives within us, and we can come to align to the higher perspectives or the lower perspectives based on the outcomes that we want to achieve. Because at the end of the day, we know that whatever we focus on is really bad. So, focusing on lower perspectives at certain times helps. And certain times we do want to focus on the higher perspectives. So I'd love to know how you support your clients to really come to understand their feelings, their thoughts, some of the modalities used, maybe a couple or an example of a client that you've worked with in the past that as that you have shown how to go through those different steps, understand the different perspectives or different perceptions or aspects, because to go into that place of spirit, we have to bring that physical ego mind to surrender to that higher self. So I would love to know how you support your clients, because going into spirit, transforming into spirit, which is the higher self, requires us to understand certain things. I mean, it takes steps, and I'd love to know some of the steps that your clients can expect, or your clients are taking through.
So that's an excellent question. Each of us have light and dark. We will always have light and dark. We can live from one or the other. We are usually living from shades of both. And so those pinnacle moments when we are in those deep, dark night of the soul clinging on, we're usually fully dark, or as dark as our levels go. And then when there's the, I can fly, I am every light is green, everything's going my way, I'm in flow with the universe. We are in our highest vibration, usually. That's how it is. But there is no one without the other. As beings, it's all sacred and it's all beautiful. Each have gifts, and each also have things that become not in alignment with us if we go too much to one side, even the light, because we are human beings here in this experience now, which requires us to be living and aware of everything that's going on. So I love that you're bringing that up. And because everyone is different, even in my group coaching programs, when I'm leading groups of people, different people, there still is a personal aspect to this, because if someone is very logical, so like in my book, Love for You Now, which I know we're going to talk a little bit about this later, Okay, so I've had very logical people, very pragmatic people. So nurses, doctors, usually folks in the medical industry, they're very logical. It is very much about science and about what things have been proven or the research that has been done, what they have seen. And so I've had very clinically minded people say, oh my goodness, I have now opened up to this whole kind of around love and positivity and happiness, this whole playground that I've never really been in before. I'm able to see and feel things that are outside of the logical mind, right? So we have, depending on the person's readiness, because I've had very logical people that they need to be logically taken through steps. So that usually requires quite a bit of time, explanation, opportunity to share, trying, seeing what, as they get to prove for themselves what that thing is, then they feel a little more safe. Then there's people that are clinically or logically minded that maybe they're just finally like at this stage of I'm ready to change, so I'll try anything almost. And they're just that open where we can do an exercise and then they're like, whoa, I see it quickly. I've allowed an openness. So the timing can vary. Usually what I'm doing with my clients is I'm employing both methods, practically and creatively, to allow for an opening that won't happen naturally. What I find is that people don't need to be convinced up here. They get convinced up here when they feel it in their heart. The mind will follow the heart. So if the person can have a heart opening, then that will take care of everything. And since everyone is different and their levels of readiness are different, then my method of transformation through joy, where we're taking technique rich, kind of logical, clinical, talk therapy, working it out, practical information. Okay, try this out. But then also infusing practice, creativity, joy, release, things that are outside of a logical understanding of why I think this way and what I expect to happen around the bend. I find that folks have an opening, and they have an opening that lasts because the opening happens in their heart instead of in their mind, right? So I'll give a case in point. Healthfully, all of us know we should eat fruits and vegetables. We should drink water. We should totally abstain from certain things. We should eat less of this, that, the other. The amount of people that actually follow that protocol is very small, even though we know all the data, all the science, the reports, medical, all the things are showing us. But in our hearts, we feel that will be boring. It won't taste that good. It might be expensive or too hard to do. So we have this whole list of things that in our minds we feel is not going to be good or fun or happy or joyous. But in our hearts, right? In our hearts, if we start to have an opening, maybe we try this drink. That's why sometimes I do approve of sliding vegan dishes to people that are non-vegan without them knowing, because they're like, what is this phenomenal dish? And you'd say, hey, there is no meat in there. Nothing in there is fried. It doesn't have high sugar or preservatives. And wow, they have a heart opening. But if you tell them beforehand, maybe, hey, guess what? Let's go to a hot new vegan restaurant. They're not having it. So I like to take my clients through a method that will allow them to, they get to express themselves, ask their questions, share their doubts and fears, but be given both practical steps and creative steps to have that experience in their heart, because their heart will lead them. 20 times more and 100 times farther than their minds. Practices specifically vary. For my health coaching, my confidence coaching, my business coaching. But essentially, these things, that's what we do. So, okay, well, what's going on? First of all, we got to get down to it. What is going on? Okay, we talk it out. We figure out some practical things. But then we start to get into, I share with them some ways where we can get into that hard space, where we can get into the actual action, the living of it, because that's what helps us to change. You talk about light and dark. I'll tell you, man, it's so easy for us to kind of feel that our shadow selves it's bad, it's dark, it's wrong. But our shadow selves are our friends. They love us, they help us. They love us just as much as the light. It's just the methods that we're employing when we haven't opened up to love yet. So, my case in point, when all I had to count on was, I will walk through the fire, I will pull up my bootstraps, I can. That energy served me when I realized that I could also love myself through, that I could also laugh myself through, that I could also see lands with my mind and get there faster, that I can jump into my heart space and let it lead instead of trying to figure and take care and guard myself. Everything changed. So, yeah, those are the ways that I like to guide people. I know it was a long way to get to that answer, but that is the way we talk, we share, and we go into practices, exercises that can help to manifest the experience so that will lead, that will help and guide.
Thank you so much, Teemaree. Because I do totally agree with you that we will always have the positive and the negatives. We will always have, the light and the dark. And it's really about integration, about being able to hold space for our state of being, to be able to hold that space for both the positive and the negative. And then we come to a place where we're able to be neutral. We're able to have no judgment. We're not thinking of the past or the future. We're staying present, being in the here and the now. Because it's from this place that we access our heart space even more, from a place of no judgment. And I love that this is really where you start from and end with, in your program. So thank you for sharing that. I'd love to know more about your books now, Teemaree.
I have 4 books. I'm a personal growth and a spiritual author. So if you were in a bookstore, I'm in personal growth, self-help, spirituality. And each of my books actually speak to this conversation because they do, like my different coaching programs, they help to achieve what we're talking about, which is that integration, which is that acceptance, which is that ability to take all of ourselves, all the things we've done, the things we want to do, and where we're at now, and still continue from a place of love, positivity, and power. So the first book I wrote is called 10 Ways to Move from Fear to Faith. And it's a short ebook about how you can understand faith and how understand fear and jump into faith more. And it's really great because it does mix my transformation through joy method. We talk through practical things about fear and faith. And then you're given an exercise that you can use every day that can help you to really harness those positive feelings moving forward to start the process of transcending fear and doubt and overwhelm, those feelings, those shadowy feelings that kind of paralyze us and keep us in place. And then the next book that I wrote is called Love for You Now, Focus on Love and Change Your Life. And so this book has a glossy cover. This book, as you can see, even from the shape and the style, it's totally unconventional because my method, transformation through joy, is totally unconventional. So this book, and one thing I like to say about all my books, is that it's less reading, more doing with my books, right? Because you're going to get in here and you're going to be invited to get to experience love, happiness, positivity, joy. So my book, Love for You Now, can be experienced 4 ways. And the reader can flip to it, can use it as a daily practice, but it's visuals and affirmations to take you there. And to have you see that love is literally knocking on your door every day, 24/7, and you have an opportunity to welcome it in every day. Whether or not this is not a dating book, it's not about you need to change your body or your face. No, you're loved right now. Right now. And so it's very exciting. And this book, I've had folks with clinical, logical thinking have massive changes in their lives. And I love that it's just very easy to use. I also have my Love for You Now coloring book, takes you another step further. You're able to different affirmations, different visuals, but you get to, again, we're transformation through joy. So we're taking science backed. It is proven that when there is power in the affirmation. Not everyone calls them affirmations, but there's power in the declaration, affirmation of this is what I want to see. This is what I'm going to be. This is what I will achieve. We see that. Science proven. It is used for Olympians and many other folks that are achieving great goals over long periods of time. And then we get to relax and color and be in the practice. An easy marination of just spending some time with that thought. And that's Love for You Now, the coloring book. And then finally, I have Invite God In. Invite God In, prayers to have faith and experience life changes. And this is a book of prayers said in the first person. They're sorted by theme, and the person can flip and just find that prayer or pray regularly when they don't have the words to say. And there's even a notes section. Because like I said, with my method, we're mixing that science and that creativity to help you have that transformation. So, you're struggling. You think, hey, my prayers don't get answered. I don't know what to say. It's hard to pray. I have to be a certain religion, on and on. Hey, you can just flip. You got someone literally praying with you. It's in the first person. I've written it and I've said these. You're saying it. We're here together. Let's go. And then you can write down all the times that your prayers are answered. And you can see, again, you can see that transformation can be easy. You can see that when you spend some time spending thoughts on good things and you're just relaxing, things can change for you. You can see these things happening. So it's a very exciting, it's a little bit, that's why I said when we got into the books, you'd kind of see a little bit more about how I do things as a coach. Everything that I'm using, it's proven, we know it works, but when we play in it, oh man, the things that can transpire. So yeah, these are my books. They're available on my website, teemaree.com, and available in all kinds of retailers. But teemaree.com is the easiest place because if you go there and go to my books page, then you can see all the retailers and just click through easily instead of trying to like type in and remember what the title was. So teemaree.com/books is where my books are found.
Oh, I love that. I love the titles. I think that, that concept of love being available to us now. And it's not always something we feel, something we sense, something we know, but it takes practice. I love what you said. It could take a very short time, and it could take a long time, and it's all unique, because we're all unique pieces of universal energy, of life, of God. So it's always good for us to embrace our journey authentically, whatever it is, and knowing that love is available to us, we can hold those intentions because those intentions align us to the higher self. Those intentions are always very, loving intentions or intentions that are empowering. No one wakes up in the morning and sets an intention of doom. It's always an intention of wanting to do something that is bigger than us, something that allows us to expand. So those intentions are aligning us to the bigger part of us, the more loving part of us, which is that higher self. So it's about alignment. And I love that you are showing that through your courses, through your book, and through your books, and you're allowing that focus on expansion of that infinite self within. So thank you for that service, Teemaree. So, do you have any final words you want to say before we go?
If you're watching clearly, you want better for your life. And so I applaud you already for that. I applaud you for spending time watching and learning and finding out about new people. It's my joy to have this time with you. I do take it very seriously. It means so much to me. So thank you for that. And just know that your best is yet to come, that you are loved and powerful and you have purpose. You are created for this time and place. And you have been gifted with a very specific set of things that is truly a blessing to all of us on this earth. So continue growing. And, if you do want help or found something exciting or intriguing, I'd love to meet with you and discuss further. But otherwise, keep going. Keep going. You're doing great. And your best is yet to come.
That's powerful, really powerful. And where can people find you when they want to connect with you? You've mentioned your website. What about the other social media platforms? If you could share that for those who may be listening.
Okay. The number one place to find me is at teemaree.com, teemaree.com. Social, I am I'm so many places socially, and my handle there is at teemareedotcom. So at teemaree.com for all the social media stuff, and really everything at a glance is my website, including the socials that you can easily click through, and that's teemaree.com.
Thank you, Teemaree. Thank you for joining me again today. It's really been nice to have this conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate your time and your energy and just sharing your space with me. Thank you so very much.
Beautiful. And I'd love to thank our audience for joining us today and to invite you to connect with Teemaree on her website, teemaree.com, and grab a copy of one of her books and connect with her to really begin to transform, because we can transform from different places, different things, depending on what we want to align to. But if we're wanting to align to transformation through joy, this is a really wonderful opportunity to connect with Teemaree. And also to invite you to grab your copy of Daily Soul Bytes, now available anywhere books are sold online, published by Barbour Press, a division of A House, available in Kindle, paperback, and audiobook. And also to subscribe to Daily Soul Bytes show. We always have new episodes every Wednesday, and we always have a great guest. So I look forward to connecting with you and seeing you on the next episode of the Daily Soul Bytes show. Bye-bye.